Again, number 3 is more difficult than the first one. I'll look at it. I know what they say. They tell me what T1 is. They tell me what T2 is. They tell me Tn is defined in terms of the pass, which is the Tn minus 2. And this is true for n greater than or equal to 3. It goes to find a value of T of 1998. I'd hate to go through all terms to get there, but let's take a look. I'm going to the whiteboard to do it. And I want to see if I can see something here. This is problem number 3. I'll write this one down again for you. T1 is 1. T2 is minus 1. And I'm going to, kind of write down, a little bit. I can't write every term down. I'd be here all day doing that. But this is n minus 3. And then you have n minus 1. And that's going to be times t, n minus 2. All right? And this is true for n greater than or equal to 3. Right? Now, they want me to find t of 1998. So, you could write the sequence down, but I'm not going to write down T1 and T2 again. It's already written down. But I will write down T3. I don't want to do too much work doing it, though. But one thing I noticed about it initially is T3. Let's write this over here. It's going to be T. Well, that's going to be 3 minus 2, which is 1. I certainly know what that is. I'm not too worried about that. But what do you get on top? You get 0. Right, because n minus 3 is, if n is 3, that would be 0. What's the bottom going to be? It would be 3 minus 1, and that's going to be 2. All right? Now, I know this is 0. I'm not too concerned about that, but I'm going to go T4. And what's T4 going to be equal to? Well, T4, I'm going to try to be careful with this. And again, I'm looking at the n minus 3. That would be 1. And the bottom would be, let's see, 4 minus 1, which is 3. And then what goes over here, T2. All right, that's not so bad. Now, if you go to T5, right, what would you get over here? Well, again, it's going to be 5 minus 3, which is 2. And then what do you get on bottom? You get 4. I'm not going to reduce that, by the way. And then you can get T. Well, you get 3 over here. So one thing I noticed about this over here is that all the odd terms would be 0. And why is that? The first odd term I'm getting is 0 over here. By the way, it's after T1. But every one that follows this that's going to have an odd thing in it, it's going to be 0. Every single one. So I'm really kind of working on this T4 thing. And I'll go, T4. The next thing I would go is T6. And I want to write down what T6 is going to be. T6 would be equal to, let's see. Again, I'm looking at the thing. It's n minus 3, so it's 3. And then n minus 1, that's 5. And that's going to be times T4. Now, I hope you realize I know what T4 is. Let me write this over here, 3/5. And T4 is 1/3 times T2. All right? I'm getting that from over here that way. Now, if I want to, I'm not going to go to T6, but not T7. I'm going to go to T8 now. And let's write down T8. Now, again, I'm hoping to see a pattern as I start to work in this over here. And what's that going to be? Well, it's going to be 5. And then n minus 1 would be 7. And then I get T6. Well, I know what T6 is. Let's write this down. 5 7s. T6 is, I just did it. It's 3/5, 1/3 times T2. All right? I think I'm seeing something emerge. And as I do this over here, I mean, I could keep writing that, T10, but I don't want to keep writing them down until I get to T1998. But I'm starting to realize I'm seeing something over here. And so I'm going to say T 1998 is equal to, well, I'm going to put the T2 here. I know it's always going to go back to that, by the way. Then I'm going to say 1/3. I want to start thinking about it, by the way. And then I get 3/5. And then I get 5 7s. Now, I just want to start thinking. I don't want to write it down, but if I would write down T10, I'd get this coefficient again, right? So what I mean by, again, I get another coefficient there, and I got to worry about this thing over here. So T10 would be what? And going back to the formula, would say, oh, that's going to be 7. And then on the bottom, you'd have 9. And then it's going to be times T8. And again, this is T8 over here. So I'm starting to realize I could definitely move my way backwards. And every time I move my way backwards, I'm starting to realize I could count backwards. Like, 1, 3, 5, 7. What's the next one going to be? 9. And I could keep going backwards on the other one too, right? 3, 5, 7, 9. That would be 11. And I could keep going backwards from that as well. And I hope you start to realize 11, right? Well, I'm going backwards. What am I doing? I'm basically counting up by 2 on each of them. 1 to 3 is up by 2, 3 to 5 is up by 2, 7 to 9 is up by 2, 9 to 11 is up by 2. Look at the bottom, 3 to 5 is up by 2, 5 to 7 is up by 2, 7 to 9 is up by 2, 9 by 11 is up by 2, 11 up by 2 is 13. So I'm starting to realize I'm eventually going to work my way backwards to this factor over here. And again, if you're thinking about it, you just simply say, what is it going to be? It's going to be n minus 3. Well, that's 1995 over n minus 1, which is 1997. Then someone says, I wonder what goes over here. Well, that shouldn't be too bad because I could go forward too. What would it be? I'm going down by 2. So 1993, and this would be 1995. And again, you can keep doing that. Not that I want you to do it, but there's some things in the middle over here. You're going down, so it's 1991, and that would be 1993. Again, I'm going down by 2. But what I'm starting to realize here, I see cancellations, and they're all over the place. This 3 cancels that 3, 5 cancels that 5, 7 cancels that 7, 9 cancels that, 11 cancels that, and a 13 is going to be over here, that cancels. Let's go the other direction. This cancels, and everything cancels in the center. So what are you going to get? T of 1998 is going to be 1 over 1997. And let's see what I'm left off. Oh, T2. Do I remember what T2 is? And the question is, I don't think I do remember T2. If I go back up here, T2 is minus 1. So what do you get? Minus 1 over 1997. All right? Thank you.